Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and boom, it's good to be back. I am excited to be back here uploading regularly because we are closer to Diablo 4, and I'm going to be covering it extensively here on the channel. Now, the big topic I want to dive into is the Necromancer is getting a lot of hate for the summons, the skeletons being nerfed a little bit too much, and I'm going to give you my thoughts and feedback on this alongside talking about what some people are saying in the Diablo community. Let's get into it. Alrighty, so as you can see right now, here I am on a Necromancer, and I was trying to kind of play around with the summoning style as I'm leveling up and all of that, and I actually do have a lot of experience in the two beta iterations playing the Necromancer. The classes I've probably played the most in the two beta iterations of Diablo 4 were the Sorceress and the Necromancer, so I've definitely played a decent amount of hours here on Necro, and I can tell you for sure that right away, without even noticing what anybody in the community was saying, I noticed I was having to constantly resummon my skeletons compared to all of the other playtesting I was doing on the class. So it is definitely going to be a pain, and it's going to be most notable in boss fights. It is really, really hard to keep enough corpses up to actually get any sort of meaningful utility and damage out of your skeletons. So honestly, I was really in a debate on what I'm going to main between the Sorceress and the Necro, and it's enough that I think I'm going to main Sorceress. I've always loved the summoning style and the summoning builds, and maybe it ends up being good late game. Maybe it ends up being awesome once you've got all of the legendaries and you've got a fully min-maxed build. It might be awesome, but in terms of a leveling experience, I think it's causing me to lean towards I want to just level up as a Sorceress and start out that way, because I also played on this iteration with the Sorceress, and it's just way easier. I don't have to manage any minions. I just run around, I click on stuff, and it dies, and it's a lot, at least for me anyway. Everyone's gonna have their own preference, but I was way enjoying the leveling up process, at least super early game, on the Sorceress instead of the Necro. So unfortunately, I do think they were a little bit too heavy-handed on the health of the skeletons, and it's possible that we could see that altered pretty soon here to revert at least closer back to what it used to be. So I was already kind of thinking this in my own head, and then I happened to see on Reddit that literally the top post with the most upvotes is Necro skeletons need more HP back, and I'm like, huh, I kind of thought they were dying a little bit too fast and a little bit too often. And like I said, especially in boss fights, it's just almost impossible to even get them to have any sort of consistency. And that's what people are saying here on Reddit is that's what happens when people complain about a level 25 Necro. 100% agree. You start doing all these balance changes before you actually get the full breadth of the game. And like I was telling people on like Diablo 3, imagine if we could only level up to level 25. Everyone would be saying the Necromancer with the corpse explosion and everything is just way broken, stupid, and every class is trash compared to that. So it is important to remember this is a very early game environment, and we haven't seen the full potential of different builds in order to be able to balance them effectively. And what I don't understand is why games can't just make tweaks. Like, why does it always have to be so heavy-handed? You always take things, they always take things that are like really good and then just nerf them into the ground. It's like, why not just make an adjustment instead of a nerf? Like, just a little bit. Just give them like 5% less health, 10% less health. It feels like they have like 1/10 as much health, and they are just dying way faster than they used to versus all of the other beta iterations that I played here on the Necro. And yeah, this next one is exactly what I said, is agreed at this rate. As much as I love summoners, I must play something else if I want to have fun. This is exactly what I did. I played the Necro for like just over an hour, and I was like, yeah, I'm done. I did a boss fight, and it took me like 20 minutes to do the boss fight because I can't even use my summoners. They're just literally worthless. I have to sit here and use like my default essence generator, and there's no point to even do the build. So I literally just swapped off, tried the rogue for a little bit, and then went over to the sorcerer, and the sorcerer just feels way better. I'm definitely going to be using sorcerer, I think, for the first leveling experience on the live game. Yep, it was an extreme nerf and it sucks. Yep, I literally didn't have them for the first boss fight because he kept one-shotting them. Really kind of makes me want to play another class. Agreed. They have to be okay. Yeah, so you can see that this is going to be a very general sentiment in the community and a very popular one. So if you are thinking that the Necromancer is a little bit weak during your playing, you are not in the minority, because it's going to be a very prevalent opinion right now in the community about the Necromancer and especially the Summoner build, which by the way, other builds might be good. I have not, full disclosure, I have not tested some of the other stuff early game. Maybe it's amazing. I've like Corpse Explosion got nerfed a little bit and there were some other adjustments, but maybe there's another leveling build that would be awesome for the Necro. I need more time to go ahead and play test that and get back to you. But with what I know right now, I'm not going to be leveling with the Summoner build and I'm going to be doing the Sorcerer instead. As much as I love running around with my skeletons and I love playing the Necromancer, it's looking like that is going to be the case because it's just too annoying to have to play it. You know, the Summoner build is never supposed to be absolute god top tier best build in the game. What it's supposed to be is a viable and accessible option for people that don't want to be button spamming. Like it's supposed to be one of the easier builds to play, and you just kind of enjoy summoning your army and managing the battlefield and feeling powerful with your summons, being able to kill stuff. But the trade-off of it being really easy to play is it's not going to be quite as viable as like the god tier absolute high-end builds, but it needs to be at least easy to play and accessible and viable. So if I had to predict some stuff that's going to happen, I bet you that the Sorcerer is going to be the most popular class on launch, at least among the people entrenched in the Diablo community, like the people that watch YouTube videos and the people that are on Reddit and the people that are really try hard about the game. The Sorcerer is probably going to be #1 in terms of most picked out the gate. When it comes to like the beginners and the people that aren't on social media and stuff like that, it's probably going to be Barbarian or something, Barbarian or Necromancer, but the Necromancer is probably going to take a hit because of the skeletons not being near as viable in the early game. They might be awesome late game, and obviously we're going to get all of that stuff tested here within the team, and I'm going to be talking with a bunch of different people playing different classes and all of that. But yeah, I wanted to do this video to let you know that you are not alone if you think the Necro is not performing as well as you thought it did in previous betas. And also, if you aren't playing the beta, just keep it in mind that the build might be a little bit more annoying to play than you thought it would when you're running around with all of your skeletons. You're going to need to be refreshing them constantly as you're leveling up until super late game, when you can get more of the like legendaries you need and get the build actually min-max so they have more health and it's a little bit easier to manage. It might not be as easy and as lazy of a leveling build as you once thought it was going to be. So anyway, I'm going to get back to testing and playing all night here on the beta. Remember to subscribe on your way out if you enjoy daily Diablo content. I'm going to be back on the grind and I'm excited for Diablo 4. I will see you soon in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.